But time to get to the Pistons, man.
The stressful part of the show, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
So for the first time all year this past week, the Pistons lost more than 2 games in a row. They lost 4 in a row to be specific, including an embarrassing loss at home to the lowly Brooklyn Nets, blowing a 23-point lead in the process. It's important to note that neither Cade Cunningham or Sir Thompson played in that game, but it was still embarrassing nonetheless. Do the Pistons have a real problem, or is a slump simply an inevitability over the course of an 82-game season? What say the people's champ, man?
Slumps are inevitable in an 82-game season.
Yes.
I agree with that. But what bothers me is the symptoms of this slump and going forward. What can we do? What remedies are out there to fix it? Because I think a big part of what's going on right now is fatigue. I think a big part of our success this season is that a lot of unsung heroes on this team have answered the bell. We had a lot of key guys miss a lot of games, like chunks of games.
Yep.
And to these guys' credit, they answered the bell.
Yeah.
And sustained a high level of play for, a lot of those wins that we were picking up. And I think now some of it is, some of the air is starting to come out a little bit, and I think with Cade, we sometimes, I know I do, micro focus on him because he's the leader and best player.
Absolutely.
And it's to the point where we can't afford, to what you were saying a few weeks ago, we can't afford any slippage from Cade.
Yeah. Yeah, no, he's big time important.
Like we can't afford any slippage from Cade, and the losses, the slumps, they come, but this was kind of forecast if you were watching the team for the past few weeks. The slow starts in the first quarter, the offensive lulls, but again, we could kind of count on our defense.
Yep.
But again, to what I'm trying to say, when you're fatigued, it's kind of hard to dig down that little bit deeper for, to sit down in that chair on defense the way you were in, say, December.
Mm-hmm.
Now that it's March.
Yeah.
It's a little more attrition on those hammies and quads.
Yep.
And and also since Dennis Jenkins got the contract, the production.
Somebody put up his numbers since he got his contract.
It's been kind of rough.
Yeah.
And again, like I said, we still have to find some way collectively, because we don't have another guy that can do close to what Cade does. I think Cade is at 10 assists, and then our second guy is at like 2 and some change, like 2.9. So it's, he carries so much of the load, and we've been able to kind of meet him collectively in terms of the rest of the parts. And I think now the rest of the parts are kind of, losing some of the punch that we had earlier in the season. And that's the most concerning thing for me right now.
Yeah, man. So the first, second, and third thing that I want to talk about is the absence of Sir Thompson.
Okay.
Because we tend to live in a bit of a reductive society, and I'm guilty myself. We spend a lot of time focusing on what a guy can't do as opposed to what he does do.
Right.
My father reminded me of something with the Bad Boys when we were talking this week. That's why I like to talk to him when I'm doing my show prep sometime. And he said that when Adrian Dantley was on the team, he didn't really care for Dennis Rodman, because he felt like when Dennis Rodman was out there, we were playing 4-on-5 offensively. And then he reminded me that when we traded for Mark Aguirre immediately said, I'll give up my starting spot for Dennis Rodman, because even though he can't score, I've never seen anybody as good at doing everything else.
Yeah.
And we went on to win back-to-back championships, and Dennis Rodman won back-to-back Defensive Player of the Year awards.
Yeah.
And I'm not telling you that Asar Thompson is Dennis Rodman, because that's a high bar. But he might be our Dennis Rodman.
Ain't no might be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Ain't no damn
he might be. Yeah, because he does a little bit of everything. You know, he plays harassing on the ball defense. He pressures full court. He gets steals, knockaways. He blocks a shot a game. He runs the floor. He scores around the basket. He rebounds. He can push the pace and defend the other team's best perimeter player. So we miss him. And I think that, and again, when I say we, I mean me, didn't really understand his importance and all of the things that he does until we didn't have him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I think that we can't beat good teams without him.
That's fair.
And most importantly, we don't have another player like him. No disrespect to Ron Holland.
Right.
I thought him and Ron Holland were sort of a redundancy.
They ain't the same.
They not the same. Ron Holland ain't there yet. He's not quite like Asar. Asar is long and athletic, and he's a bother in the paint. He rebounds. He just different.
He's smart defensively.
He really is, and he's really a better defender than I even gave him credit for. And I'm like, he changes our defensive scheme
100%
when he's in there, because he can guard the point, and then he can go down and guard the best wing.
Mm-hmm.
And that allows everybody else more flexibility on defense. And what we do is defense.
Mm-hmm.
Like defense is our calling card. Like, yeah, we can score some points, but now we got to try to outscore teams, and that ain't really that's not our game. Now all of a sudden when he's out, what you paying attention? Oh, we can't shoot. Oh, we don't have a second score. See, now all of a sudden, all of that is blaring and in your face, but that ain't really what we do. If it comes down to us trying to outscore teams, that's not what we do. What we do is smother teams with great defense. And he's really the catalyst to that. More than Beef Stew, more than Duran, more than Cade. He's really the catalyst that allows us to smother teams defensively.
I agree.
If we don't have him, we can't really smother you out defensively without him. He starts that. He starts at the point, and then he pressures the ball all the way up all game long. He brings that energy from start to finish, and he's really been that consistent defensive catalyst for us all season long. And so, man, I mean, I'm like, listen, that's the biggest thing that's jumping out to me. I'm like, man, we miss him.
Yeah.
We missing that guy, and the game looks different. The pressure looks different. The guys are pushing the ball up the floor easily, and that doesn't happen when he's there.
No.
He don't let you just push the ball. Like he's in your face. He knocking the ball away. He getting steals in the front court and a couple of easy layups a game. Like that right there. And even though he's not doing that every single time, that's putting something on the ball handler's mind, like he bringing it up slower. That's slowing the pace of the other team. He's really important to what we do, man. So I'm like, I wanted to take that moment, man, and give him his flowers. Because again,
for sure,
we tend to be reductive. It's like, if he could shoot and he ain't, he's not out there scoring 25 a game, but he's making a big impact, man. So yeah, that's I wanted to make sure that.
I don't think there's a question that he's a first team.
All defense.
I don't see how he
agree.
could not be.
I agree. No, man, I agree, and I just wanted to shout him out.
He meets those game requirements. I hope that's not at risk.
I don't think it is, because this is the first time I can remember him missing any significant time.
Okay.
I mean, he's durable. Right. He's usually out there, and I think that go ahead now.
No, go ahead.
I was going to say, I think that if these games were more pressing, he would probably be playing now.
Okay.
I think they just keeping him out of an abundance of caution.
Yeah, ankles are tough.
Man. Yeah, they are.
So, based off what you've seen for 64 games, being as objective as you can be, how confident are you in the Pistons and that they can hold off the Celtics in a 7-game series at this point?
I mean, it's hard to say. So, I do think that, again, being objective, we second in defensive rating, first in blocks first in steals, first in transition points. I think that stuff wins in a 7-game series. I take that over 2 high-quality scorers any day. And the Celtics like to shoot 53s a game. That traditionally doesn't win in a 7-game series. It can. If you get hot, it can. But we get easier baskets. We get transition baskets. We going to steal the ball from them more. They don't really have a true point guard. So, I like Asar. If Asar Thompson is healthy, he going to be harassing their point guard that's trying to bring the ball up. So I think that we can turn them over. So I think there's going to – by no means am I saying they're going to be easy because they not – the Celtics are a great team with 2 of the best players in basketball. But I think that we could. That doesn't mean that we will. But I like our chances. I would expect that that would probably be a break-even series. Probably be an even money series. I don't think we would necessarily be favored if the series started today, but it would probably be a break-even series. We'll say the people's champ.
I mean, if you're asking me right now today, do we beat the Boston Celtics in 7 games? Or am I confident we will, or what?
Based off of what you've seen over the 64 games we have played so far this season.
Will we beat them? No. I don't think so. I hate to say it, but I don't believe so.
I mean, that's fair.
And the reason why I came to that conclusion was last week. I didn't anticipate Jason Tatum looking as good as he has. Even with the rust there, it's just like, oh, damn, dude. I thought he was going to, take a little while to kind of work his way back. And you just can't discredit the fact that this unit, minus a few pieces, but their best players are going for their 3rd NBA Finals appearance.
Mm-hmm.
And in the playoffs, when you're talking situational basketball, you have to be able to manufacture offense.
Yep.
And to have multiple guys. Boston has multiple guys who can manufacture offense, whether it be in set plays, broken plays, in the half court. They can, identify. They have players that are good enough where they can identify and make a mismatch. And that just concerns me because on the other end, I don't think we can do that to them. And also, Joe Mazzulla's a good coach.
Yeah,
he's eccentric as hell and a little cray, but he can coach. And I just think if Jason Tatum didn't look 70%, I would like our chances more. But given how kind of healing progresses, I'm going to assume that he'll be even better come May than he is today.
Yeah.
And Jason Tatum has some pretty huge playoff performances. He's had some big playoff games and moments. So yeah, I just don't think our team right now, we're ready to take on that team if they continue to get healthy.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I hate saying that.
No, that's fair. That's perfectly fair. I think that, I think we could take them in a 7-game series. Jason Tatum right now shooting 29% from 3. That's about what I expect him to be shooting in the playoffs. That's about what he shoots in the playoffs. And yes, he has had some big games in the playoffs, but they tend to 3-point percentages go down in the playoffs. And Boston likes to shoot a lot of threes. Now, again, if those threes fall, you in bad shape. But I don't expect them threes to fall. I like for us to hit more twos than they hit threes. If you telling me that they're going to have Kata down low trying to stop Jalen Duren, I like Jalen Duren to have a big series. I just think that we'll be able to find a way, but we'll see. We'll see what happens if we end up meeting them, down the way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that it'll probably be a couple rounds in.
Yeah, if somebody could knock them off before we get to them, I would be more than happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, because I think Cleveland is, Cleveland is going to be a problem too. But Cleveland might be 4 now, so they might be our problem to deal with before we even get there. So
I would say I believe that we do have a chance to.
We got a chance for sure, but
I feel like we have the ability to do it. I don't know if we're gonna have the gas to do it.
Well, but
because I feel like looking at how the playoffs might shape out for us, I feel like we're gonna have a much harder road than people realize. I think if it goes the way I think it would go, we might end up with Charlotte in the first round, who. Yes, they might not be good, but they've been hot.
Oh, they tough.
And I think they're going to come into that series how we came into the series with New York last year. Mm-hmm. And then if we defeat them, we're probably going to see Cleveland, which will be an easy series. And then we'll be in the. So the ability I feel like is there. I don't know if the team will have enough gas to get it done.
Yeah. But we younger than Boston. While I do feel, I feel what the People's Champ is saying about the way we look now, but and you make a point about Tatum, because he is gonna have the advantage of being rested.
Yeah.
But that Jaylen Brown been carrying this team.
Yeah.
You talking about somebody that's gonna be tired when May come around? It's the Jaylen Brown tired now. Jaylen Brown crashed out on the court last night, bro, and got ejected. Jaylen Brown is tired, bro. He's tired right now. Like Jason Tatum coming back is in the nick of time for him, because that dude has been carrying the weight of the world on his shoulders. So, and he's older than Cade. He older than Cade and Duran, and they kids. So yeah, and not to mention that Boston been making deep playoff runs for 4 years.
Yeah, that's true.
So you talking about some legs that's gonna be worn out? Yeah. So if we do face them deep in the playoffs like that, I think we gonna have the youth advantage and the rest advantage. They will have the experience advantage, though, for sure. They gonna have and historically, the People's Champ is correct that historically having the experience advantage is what benefits you in that situation. But again, I'm just looking at all of the things that we do. We pressure the ball, we score in transition, we get more easy baskets than they do. We block a lot of shots. We get a lot of steals. We play better defense. I think in a 7-game series, that's going to be to our benefit. Now, again, I'm speaking in abstractions. Like, you still got to get on the court and play the game. And when you get on the court and play the game, experience matters. Like you said, being able to manufacture a shot out of a set, like when the game is close or when you need a basket, that does make a difference. I'm not going to pretend like, I've been watching basketball long enough to know that you need those experienced guys who just been there before and know what to do. And because it's a muscle memory that goes with that. And we don't have it yet.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't won a playoff series as a unit yet. So we don't have the muscle memory to know, okay, I'm going to go here, he going to go there. Like, we just have to depend on the fact that our youth will carry us, and we just don't know enough to be nervous. So, but yeah, no, that's a good question, nephew. That's that's definitely a good conversation piece, man.